welcome back to a brand new tutorial. I'd like to say a happy new year to everyone, and I hope that 2020 is a great year for everybody. I'd just like to thank everyone for watching and subscribing to my channel. That always helps. And here we're going to have a look at how to make a house track, and what I've decided to do is use a sample pack from Loopmasters. But before I do that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you enjoy it. Much appreciated. So getting back to this video, I'm not getting paid by Loopmasters to do this. I'm kind of plugging Loopmasters because I do work for them indirectly with my friend Kid Massive. We do a lot of sample packs for them, so it's kind of a bit of an advert, I suppose. Well, it's not. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is going to use a pack so I don't have to bother about how to construct or how to make individual parts to a track, although I will add stuff to the track as well, but it's mainly about how to quite quickly make a track, mix it, master it and make it sound really good. So what I've done here is I've opened up my template for constructing tracks. If you haven't seen my video on how to make a template, I suggest you go back and have a look at that so then you can know how to make this template. But what I do here is I have like my buses set up with a limiter, but I've had everything turned off, so then I just have all my buses going to the main output here, and then I can just bring in whatever elements and then put them straight to the bus where I want it to go and color it and be all kind of organized. So let's just take a look at the samples of what I want to use. I'm going to go to this page here and download. I'm going to use this pack here that I already have. I didn't do these samples with Benjamin, who's Kid Massive. This is his labels sample packs. I work with him on other sample packs we do for different labels on here. So I like the Tribal Tech samples. They're really kind of clean and nice and banging. So I'm going to use the Tech 4 volume here, and just the way they're set up is that they have like I'll show you what they're like. So when you open up, you have the artwork, and then you have beats and effects and grooves and vocals and one shots. And here, if we go to grooves, which is really good, you have the whole thing. If you click on all wave, you can hear the whole track basically.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on.
As you can hear, there's a lot of pretty cool
Percolate.
quite a tribal sort of. So you've got different kind of styles within this genre here, and I like this one. Kind of got an old school feel about it. So what I'm going to do is I'll just select from here to here. I don't need the all wave because it's the whole groove together. What I want is the individual elements. So I'm going to check this, put this to 25, make sure the snap region is to absolute value so that it won't go in between, it'll go straight to the value, the closest value set at a 16th. So if I just import them back in now, and I'll just pull this in here, and just go to 5 now. Use existing tracks, like create new tracks. Now here you can see all the individual elements, and they all kind of sound quite cool together.
Yo, house music.
As you can see, they're all a bit loud and not properly mixed because they're individual tracks. But what I will do now is I will color code these and put them to the respective buses here. So then that will be ready to go. So I'm going to do that offline because that takes a bit of doing, and I've got other videos of how I colour and stuff like that, so I won't bore you with that. I'm just going to get straight to the point here. So what I'm going to do now is just go away 2 secs and I'll be back with colours and everything rooted out. Okay, so what I've done here is I've coloured my tracks out, colour coded them so I know exactly where I am. Always do that because it makes it so much easier to find stuff. Like I know my drums are brown, kick is this mauve colour, and then bass is blue, keys are green, vocals are always pink, and I use this blue for the effects Here you can see I've got my limiters set up on the buses just to control volumes. Basically, I do that to control volumes whilst I'm producing, so it doesn't get out of hand and I don't get ear fatigue and stuff like that, and I can just keep working forward without worrying about, oh, does it sound good? Is it this loud enough? No, because I know if I've got the kick at a certain level, drums at a certain level, bass, etc., I can keep a decent kind of sound going. Some of the levels are quite low. The bass is like low, and so what I'm going to do is bring them up, and so in the limiter I don't have to crank up the input. Here I've got the gain at +6 for the kick. See here, it's just biting, but what I could have done is brought up this a bit more, but it's okay. You can do it with the gain here, just it's one or the other. But what I usually do is I usually put an EQ on the tracks just to control the bass end, and generally just cut out some mud and stuff from certain tracks. So what I'm going to do now is just do that. I'm going to insert across all the tracks a EQ. Now I don't use the standard EQ, I use the linear phase EQ because I just prefer it. It doesn't seem to boost as much. If I boost that like that, then this doesn't get out of control with the volume. Doesn't make the gain go up too high. So look into linear phase, the difference between linear phase EQs and normal EQs, and it will be explained. So I've already got this as a user default. I've done a video about how to do that. So I save like a basic default user preset, so when I open them up it's always got this cut here at 45, so then I can go in and just adjust it the way I want to. The kick I usually kind of depends on the kick, so what I usually do is just have it at about 30 and 35, somewhere around there, so keep that sort of sub in, but all the rest of the stuff I'll cut out, but that's okay to start with. I'm gonna here what I'm going to do is put on a sausage fattener for certain sounds. I usually put them on the keys to give them a bit of grit, a bit of fatness. So what I do here, but this is something that people don't know about this plugin, is that here in the middle, this thing here is a limiter. So if you stick that at 0 dB, that won't go past 0 dB here. So if I do this, I just push this here, it'll block at 0, look. The harder I go, it's getting squashed. So that's kind of like a limiter, so we can just bring that down a little bit so it's not going to clip. Then we can brighten. See how I brighten them out? So yeah, anyway, I'm just balancing it out a little bit. We've got yo-yo, the vocal here is pretty cool. But it starts off with a drum here, so we don't want that there. We'll stick that at 17. And what I'm going to do is just start working on an intro here. So let's move this all back to the beginning, okay? And let's do a traditional housey intro where the DJ mixes 2 tracks in. So give them a kick on its own for now. Okay, and then just move these along a bit and just start arranging the way we want this to sound. So maybe have that one here. Okay, and then have that build up there, so then okay, then have the sorry, that one's there. Have the bass come in here, keep the vocals out for now, so just kind of start playing with the structure of this. There, part of bass in. of structure going on there. To arrange this a bit. Just have that one there to start with. Okay, so copy this down here, right? Yeah. And what we'll do here is we'll go into this panel here, the regions edit panel here, and we'll reverse it. So simple as that. That covers that. Okay. So this is quite low here. So what I usually do is just stick a compressor on everything and give it a bit punch here. I've got -12 here, so these elements are going to be quite low at the moment. So just got to check my mix on this. Let's check the drums. No, it's kind of moving forward here. So we've got to push it up a lot here. It's okay, it's kind of biting. And what I usually do with the snare is just get a bit of it, make sure there's nothing really getting in the way here of the kick drum. Same here. Just keeping that in. Remember this little chain here, so when I change channels this will change with the channel. Pretty cool. So then I'm just going to bring a bit, the bass is cool, that's no problem. Make sure there's nothing down the bottom getting in the way of my bass. Here, let's have a check this out. Yeah, it's got a splash there and there. Okay, I'm going to bring up the just the volume of this here. Give it a bit of gain there. Cut down there a bit. Control that quite low. Then we've got another section here. Bit white noise going on there. Don't want that too loud. Then we've got the reverse thing I did here.
Yo, yo, house music, 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 music. Yo, yo, house music, music, music.
Okay, so let's do a little break around here. So we've got this going on from here to here. It's quite steady. Getting in the groove. Yeah, in fact, what we do there is just have that as it repeats itself. Just do that twice here. Now, as you can see, I've just copied this down without erasing because I've got no overlap here. This just erases what I had here, so I don't have to bother about cutting first. It won't get in the way. If I do overlap it, I just go on top of it and it'll be underneath. So we've done that. So what I do here, that's kind of my first part to the track. What I'm going to do is create a piano sound here for this break here and do a second part, and then we'll have two parts to the song basically. So here, from here on.
Yo, yo, house music, 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 music. Yo, yo, house music, 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 music. Yo, yo, house music, 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 music. Yo, yo.
So let me create a software instrument, and go straight to the key output, and I'm going to stick a Nexus in there straight away. That will load up now, and what I'm going to do is put that next to the keys, right? I usually keep my MIDI parts in green, the traditional green colour. Now this is a really good house piano, and okay.
Yo, house music. Yo, house music. Yo.
Copy the drums down so I've got something to play to, so I can play to that. Let me find something now. Yeah, quite like that. Let's record that for now.
Yo, house music. Yo, house music. Yo, house music. Yo, house music.
Okay, that's quite funky. I don't know if it's going to be that well played with the latency.
Yo, house music. Yo, house music. Yo, house music. Yo, house music. Yo, house music.
So I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit. There's something wrong there. You can see these have not been correctly played, so just going to repeat that one there. Up, copy them to over. Bring up some of the velocities, some of the notes, but we'll do that offline. You know how to do that.
Yo, house music. Yo, house music. Yo, house music. Yo, house music.
So this is the bass line as well.
Yo.
See if that bass line works with that, and then so what I'll do here is maybe change the bass so it follows that. So I can do that quite easily by chopping it and then tuning that here. So yeah, that's sounding. I like that piano. It's cool. I'll just move forward with the arrangement of this, the structure. Then come back and have a look at the overall sound and make sure that everything's moving in the right direction. So what I've done now is I've adjusted some levels.
Yo, house music. Yo, house music.
Nice bass coming out now. Was way too low. Yeah, so put this on the drum bus. This is the SKnote disto, which is an emulation of the Dangerous Music's distressor compressor, which is one of the best compressors they use to smash the hell out of drums and mix buses and stuff. So anyway, I put this on drums, and I've just adjusted the attack to kind of a medium attack and a fast release. Okay. And here I've got the compression at 2:1 with a bit of gain going in. So watch the difference as I've got the limiter up here, right? And if I take this off, you can see the drums here. I put this on solo. Watch this. So we can see I've got a little bit of gain reduction here, right? Okay. Now if I turn this on, sound is much more punchier with the same, more or less the same gain reduction. I'll take that off. I can push that even harder if you want. Then it'll start really crunching. So yeah, that's something I do to the drums, give them a bit more punch. So I've got this piano that's come in here.
Yo, house music. Yo, house music.
Which is a bit loud. So I've got to stick a compressor on that as well. Let's get some control on that. It's a bit, maybe a sausage fattener because the sausage fat, I can then control the level but also the sound. So like if I limit that,
house music,
then
house music, house music,
bring it down a bit
house music,
so it's not hitting the limiter too hard.
house music, house music,
Okay, so we've got the house music. I might have that on its own and then have the piano coming in afterwards in that break. So if what I could do is move the drums along, say here, the piano along again as well. So could do is
house music,
just shorten this here. So I've got like a
house music,
no, do the contrary, sorry. I'm gonna have the piano on its own, then have the voice coming in after there. What I might do as well is later on with this vocal is filter it. So I'm going to add a filter now to remind myself later on to filter it. Stick the old auto filter on, and then we can control that the general kind of cut off with this. Yes, 24 fatness here. Put fatness up quite hard, I think. Then I'll just have all this again, so just copy that, put it along here. That's my main groove going along there, so we've got that going, good, cool. So now I'm going to have a look at this vocal here, and maybe I will automate this. It's kind of a bit late, the vocal, so what I do is going to select all the parts here like that, and got a delay here, and just bring it back a bit.
house music, house music, house music, house music, house music,
Okay, so let's automate the filter on that. Now the filter, I've added a bit of resonance to give it a bit more kind of like a nasal sound to it, and when you cut off it, you can hear it better. Just start off about there. So if I automate this using latch, what I can do now is just slightly before I'll set it. Of course, this piano is way too loud still. Got so much resonance in it. Okay, so done that. Now, where are we? I was thinking of tuning the bass to this, but I'm going to leave that for now because it doesn't seem to get in the way.
Yo, yo, house music, 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 music. Yo, yo, house music,
I copied that down again, so I'm going to have a long passage here, which will be for 32 bars here now, and then we come back into a break here, and maybe I will then use the piano again here and filter the piano in this time on its own, and then filter in the vocals here. If that copied, let me just check this. Yeah, it's copied down, that's cool. Then put that back on read, and then I can move along with this. Then bring in some drums here again, and then maybe do like a build up here or something, a small build up here, and then have everything come back in again, but with everything included this time, which will be bass, drums, etc, etc. So just copying down, and then I'll start arranging again. Of course, have this in the break here. This will give me this. That again there. Take that off. So how long is the track now? It's 4 minutes 50. So we're getting towards the end of the track. I don't want to make it too long. So I went away for a bit and I added a piano, a second piano. Basically, I added my mini grand from AIR, which is a plugin I bought from Plugin Boutique, which I got no partnership with whatsoever. I actually bought this. I'm not paid to talk about this, by the way. No one pays me to talk about anything. But anyway, so I bought this because I had this piano in Pro Tools, and I didn't know you could actually buy it because it came bundled with Pro Tools. I didn't know you could buy it separately, and I found out you could, and it's got one of the best kind of normal, really. Well, I've cut off the bass here, but it really does sound nice. It's a really nice piano, and so I've doubled up this piano with it to give it a bit more sort of depth to the sound. So hear this on its own, then with it, just gives a bit more, just sitting under it, you know. So that's nice. And what I've done here is I've added a another instrument plugin, which is another AIR one that came bundled with Pro Tools, which was this Expand 2, which has loads and loads of sound in. And I used to use this all the time for roads and stuff. It's just got a real cool sound and built-in effects and stuff, and just sort of basic sort of violins and stuff. If you look at the you've got all these sounds in it, like brass and polysynths and stuff, and I thought I might put a synth in actually here somewhere. If I look up sort of brassy kind of like brassy sounds of, that's a bit too brassy. Maybe something a bit more like a pad or something, a soft pad. What about a big sweeper or something? See what that sounds like. Just like a let's just play that down here. When this comes back in, I'm going to put like a chord in here to give it a bit of. That'll be like that's a C major 7 and an A flat major 7. I'll just record that. So just tighten that up a bit. So get rid of that one, just copy these down. Tidy that up a bit here. Make sure it's kind of coming up to the end here. So what I've done now is I've bounced all my keyboard parts here in place. So I hid the MIDI instruments and plugins by hiding away here, just having all that turned off to save CPU. Then I've added some more effects to make this a bit more interesting here, and I'm going to work on the synth here on the cutoff here. I've also added another vocal part here as well, so you can hear it.
Alright, so check it out.
So what I'm going to do is kind of create a break here by having that vocal on its own, maybe like this.
Alright, so check it out. 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 Alright, so check it out.
So just going to do something funky with this part here. Going to bring it up for a start, and what I'm going to do is detune it down an octave, and then bring up this bit here as well to make it a little bit louder. Let's see how it sounds, just like this.
Alright, so check it out. Alright, so check it out.
Yeah, it sounds pretty shit, but
Alright, so check it out.
so what I'm going to do is not do that because it sounds shit, and but what I'm going to do is double this track. So copy it, copy this down, this part down to it, and use the plugin.
Alright, so check it out.
Put that back to normal as well.
Alright, so check it out.
So move that forward one as well. So
Alright, so check it out.
okay, so here I'm gonna get rid of the auto filter. I don't need it here, and use the pitch vocal transformer here. Got pitch shifting as well, so let me just try this.
Alright, so check it out. 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 Alright, so check it out.
Sort of like that. Maybe put a reverb on it or something, mate.
Alright, so check it out.
So let's have a look at this here. Just filter this actually straight onto the synth itself. So let's have a look at this. Got that on easy, or I can do it straight on the actual AIR. Let's start there. Okay, so let's start there and just turn on the automation to latch and then just work on this.
Alright, so check it out.
Put that back on read. Then I'll probably just select the expand cutoff here. Just maybe do a sweep up to here, and then start that again, maybe here.
Alright, so check it out.
So we've got something that's really call here snap automation, right? So I'm going to turn that off because it's slightly a bit too snappy there for me. So get it as close as I can down here. And yeah, so it's good.
Alright, so check it out.
Getting there. So that's drawn in. That was going way too high there, so I brought that down a bit. Come out of automation. The effects here would sound a bit more filled out in the background, which is cool. So we're getting towards the end of this track now. Quite like it. I need to do a build up. So, quite like what's going on here, but I like this effect. These effects here. These are a bit. How would one say? Tame. So I'll stick that one at the end here, going up to the end, and I would like this one here, and I'm going to filter this in here. So let's stick a filter on the bus, so we don't have to do it on both tracks at the same time. We can just do it on one. So just stick the fatness up there and just I'll start it about here. So let's put that on latch really quickly and okay, that's good. Put that back on read. This what I'm going to do here is move this along, because I'm going to do the same here as what I just did there. So
Alright, so check it out.
So here we do a build up here. Okay, I've been away working on this track a bit. I bounced that in place, but what I've done is I've put on a tremolo, right? Now, this is going to give it a cool effect. Now, listen to this. Okay, we've recorded the filter with it when I bounced it in place, because that was actually on the actual synth itself. Now this, what I've done here is created a pumping effect. It's just gives you like a side chain effect. But what I've done is I put it at a quarter. I've just sort the depth out the way I want it. But what you do is you line these up here so they're the same. Then you move the whole thing along like this until you get the position you want it in. So what I do is have it here, so it should give me the if I listen with the track, we can just line it as we want. Yeah, that's a tremolo effect. You can make it harder. So let's keep it like that. So that's a real useful tip. I didn't show you me doing this because I've already done a tutorial on how to do that. So if you want to go back and look at that, but that's what I've done there. So it's giving it a cool effect there. Then I've copied the snippet here. So there's a snippet of the vocal, which is the beginning, which is he says, check it out, and I put a reverb on it, kind of like really sort of far away deep sound. And then here I've used the Avenger to bring out a drum kit, and I've done a straightforward snare build up here, which is, and I also recorded this effect, and this I'm going to put in the drum bus. So I wanted something to happen there. So we've got to build it going here. And what I will do is I will use a rise effect as well to do that. I'll put this loop in because the other loop I wasn't happy about. So I've got these two loops to give me a kind of fat sound to it, which will come up with the mastering. I'll make them sound really fat. And then I brought the piano in earlier here, so you can hear this coming in behind it, which will then start be on its own here and here. And then the vocal comes in. What I will do here is not have the drums breaking. And of course I got the filter is on the key bus, so it's doing both the pianos together, so that's practical. So yes, so I've done that, and then I've got a break here, the vocal. I've got to stick a reverb on this or something to see what that sounds like. Let's put the old chrome reverb on this. Just do that.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Let's maybe do that again here. So it gives me.
Check it out.
Okay, so that's what I've done so far. So obviously the VPS Vengeance I haven't used much in this track, but I will go into how I use this. It's quite a cool synth. Well, it's actually a very cool synth. I haven't talked about it because I recently purchased it, It's cheap at the moment. It's like half price. If you go online, you can find it at a certain shop. I think it's called Thornham in Germany, or Thornham, France. It's a German company. They got a shop in France, but I'm not working with these people or even getting paid to say anything about it. But they had it half price, so I bought it. And I know a lot of people use this synth, so it's very powerful. And I got the Nexus 3 as well. The update to that, I'll be looking at that soon as well. So yeah, we've got this here. This is really cool effect. This here that I bounced already. So yeah, let's just finish this build up here first. I did this build up using the Avenger synth. But what I've done to get this feel. To get that feel, you need to quantize it with a swing of C, right? So yeah, so that's that break done there, which I will then the top loop. I've cut the bass out completely. I might put a little bit back in here. So what I'll do there is I'll have that there on its own. So I just double that up like so. When it's on its own, I have it with a little bit more kick. And when it's with the kick drum, I'll go back to what I had here, which was about 200. Okay, that's great. So I want to bounce in places. I've copied it down a few times when I was away and just restructured the middle. I'm going to do a nice break here, a build up here in the middle, and then it goes back into the track, and then we go out and we finish at about 460 something, 430 something, sorry, 36. But I'm going to bounce this in place first because I want to get rid of the Vengeance synth, because it's a pretty full-on synth. I only used it for that, and so go to bounce in place quick. Going to mute the other one. I'll probably take the Vengeance synth out because it's quite a big synth, uses a lot of CPU, although it'll be turned off, but I'll just get rid of it anyway, because what I'll do is I'll put the name in so I know what preset I've used. So I just have to bring the synth back in. It saves having that in there, I suppose. And get rid of this now. No plugin. And this I can just hide by going Control H. Hide that. Then I'm going to get rid of those get silence in the audio. Get rid of that. So just a little bit. So I've got a bit of tail on that. And then click enter. Put the right colour on that as well. And this is all a bit, come back here you. It's all a bit fastidious what I'm doing, but I like to be organised so I know where I am. I can see straight away my drums are here. Put this going through the bass drum outlet, going same colour on that as well, so I'll close that up. So once we've done this, we're set to go. And yeah, just make sure I've got that on the right. Yeah, that's on the right bus, so that's good. Right, okay, so got a build up here, that's good. And what's going to happen here is also I brought the piano up by adjusting the sausage fat to the colour a lot brighter, because it was kind of a bit dull actually, the piano. So yeah, that's good. Okay, so the bass is kind of... So what I do here, because this bass comes in, I've done something here on the bass, so let me just check this here. So sorry, I took these out, put them back in. I want I don't want the this one here. Yeah, I think maybe put that in the break, that, and not have that there. See how that sounds. Hold up. I'll put that back. Sorry. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, so this pad I'm not going to use because it kind of makes it a bit too deep. I'm going to keep it housey and kind of. So I'm just going to turn it off for now. Maybe hide that. I don't think I'll keep that in the track. It makes it sound a bit too deep. So I'm just going to keep the piano in basically. Maybe put like a guitar in or something. So what I've done here is I've placed the bass so the movement goes with the piano now. Okay, I'm not happy with the bass, so what I'm going to do is replay that with a synth sound, a similar kind of synth sound, something a bit more, I don't know, something a bit more grooving. But we've got the build up here I want to look at. So what I want to do here is just copy, I want to do like a build up on this here. So what I'm going to do is bring that down to say half. Just check, let's see what this sounds like. So get this build up sounding good. Just build that up like that. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so we're getting there. Yeah, I'm looking at this here. I've slightly got this wrong, the position here. So what I'm going to do is just move that here. And then have this piano coming up from here. This one as well. And then the break will go from there. here we're gonna
Check it out.
okay, so we want the kind of this to finish before here, this build up here.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
So yeah, we want that just before the drop. But what I'm gonna do here, what I'm gonna do here is use my endless smile on the end of this, so this break will sort of kind of like filter out at the end, and then the drop will come in a lot more powerful. Okay, so this yo-yo, this vocal is a bit weak. We're gonna have to work on this a bit. So it's got that go. Okay, that's cool. Just looking at this limiter, these limiters on here, make sure I've got the release fast. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, that's good, good, good. That's a bit slow. Up, slow there. And on the vocal, this one's too fast as well, too slow. So and what I want to do here is just do a yo-yo and maybe house music.
House music, music.
So
Music.
sorry, that's no good. Just get a bit more room here to work with. So what I want to do is house music. Okay. So then gonna go Command R. So we're just going to do it like that, or we can go just see how this sounds. Hold up. So music. Okay, the last one. Get this a bit funky here. So it's here. See how this sounds. Come on, Dark. So. Yeah, this is a bit more dynamic here. So see how this. Hold up. Get that cut on the right. Right bit first. Might be better. Then just repeat that. Of course, I've got it on no overlap, so that just erases what comes after. So stick that there, copy that, and then we got a, yeah, I'm just gotta cut this here, get this sounding a bit funky.
Check.
No, that's not good either. So I'm going to try and find something here that's going to repeat correctly, like house, house, house. Yeah, how does that sound? Let's try that. That sounds better. So just repeat that. About the same there. Takes a bit of time, but it's all good fun, isn't it? So there you go.
Check it out. Check it out.
So remember here, what I've done is selected the space here, from here to here, with the marquee tool, right? Then I'll go repeat, and that repeats everything like a block, but with the space, so it won't repeat. So I've decided to keep this space for now. Okay.
Check it out.
Okay, we're getting there. I quite like that now. Now I'm going to do...
Check it out. Check it out.
Okay, maybe I'll keep that dry. That sounds quite cool. Okay, so we've got this. Stick a that on and stick a compressor on as well. Let's get a bit fatter, that sound. Strange. And now let's get a endless smile in there. What we can do now is make this go from happy to sad. Going to use my favourite Delta Dynamite. Use that at the end. A bit loud there. Don't know why. Don't need it to be that loud. So here, I'm going to record that latch here towards the end of this to make it sort of fade out. I'm not going to put that there. I'm going to put that on the drum bus, completely on the drum bus. Still got this on here. Yeah, this is good.
Check it out.
Okay, so let's do this on the drum bus. Okay, so I'm going to have to be precise on this. I have to go in and edit it, but it doesn't matter. This is cool. So here we go. Okay, now I've done that. I've got to put that back on read. Then open up the automation down here. What I'm going to do is put my drums up here for now, the drum bus, so I can see what I'm doing with the automation. Open up that, and then the automation is going to be starting here. So start there, and then here just bring this down to here. What I can do is even quantize that if I want, but or snap it too. But I need to. I actually just want it just before it actually. So I don't want to quantize it, otherwise it just push the other one forward. So.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
To give it an effect there if you want.
Check it out.
Yeah, so I've muted these because I'm kind of just getting away with the piano. I might put like a little guitar lick in there or something after, but I'm just working on these for now. So we've got a drum bus here. I think that's a bit bigger so I can see what we're doing. And then we're going to do the same here. Right up here.
Check it out. Check it out.
So I just want this to carry on to the end here. So that goes on there. And what I'm going to do is the same with the basically with the bass and the keyboards. I can do the bass straight on there and a smile on there. and I'll do that on the bus of the keys as well. So what I'll do is draw that in there. Okay, so I've got one going on there as well. And we'll do one here at the end here as well, just to put this on with a delay at the end, leave the delay on. That kind of delays at the end, so that should be quite cool. That should give me this.
Check it out, check it out, check it out. Check it out, check it out, check it out.
Okay, going back to this here.
Check it out.
So this one, we're gonna draw that in.
Check it out.
Get that a bit more precise. Take it from there maybe. Take that straight down there, so that will give me.
Check it out. Check it out.
Okay, I might have to, because of this, it's got like a delay on the endless smile. I might have to just mute it here in the automation. I'll do that. So let's go to my. Okay, let's draw that now. Then I'll mute that.
Check it out.
I could actually just do that a bit more like so, and then that will probably won't be able to hear that delay there, because it just goes back down again, sort of makes it go zoop like that. So see how this sounds. Saves me muting it.
Check it out.
So on the bass there, is there any other build-ups I'd like to do? Yeah, maybe here.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Yo, yo, house music, music. Yo, 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 house music, 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 music. Yo, yo.
Okay, that's all kind of in place now.
Check it out. 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 Check it out.
I'm gonna put like a crashy effect here.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
So here we go.
Check it out. Check it out.
I found a guitar. I put it in here. I put that yellow, put a sausage fattener and an EQ on it. It's going out to my bus here, which I usually have at about the same level as the piano, the keyboards. So, okay. Still not quite sure about this bass when it comes in here. I'm gonna bring in the Avenger and see if I can do something a bit better. So just go straight to the bass here. Get the Avenger up. Just a standard bass, so analog bass. There's like a delay on that, took that off. Okay, a bit better. So let me play around with this, see what I come up with.
Check it out.
Okay, trying to be funky there, but we'll see what happens. Let's put on the quantize on that because I never play too good. Okay.
Check it out. Check it out.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna just name that so I know what it is. I'm just gonna go in and have a look at this. There's some double notes there. Okay, so here we have a couple of double notes at the end here. Not sure about this bit.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Okay. This all seems to be there. Going to bounce that in place in a minute. Then we can move on to the mastering. So stick that blue. And let's bounce that in place and move on. I've done a bit of editing on the track. Here, what I did is I've lined up some plugins for the mastering. I've now put all of these outputs to the master input here. So I'm ready to sort of like mix and master. Now, these actually here, all this. Like I said, I've been editing and I've doubled up the guitar here because it was a bit on its own. I tuned it so it's in the key, as you can hear here. That's now in key. That's an octave higher here, and that's in key, like it's -3 and +9 here because it's in key. So like gives me this kind of also on the pianos, what I did is I pulled the stereo in a bit here using this stereo control plugin from Alex Hilton, which was a free plugin on A1audio.d. It was a free plugin I got through a magazine. I think it was Keyboard Magazine or something like that. Anyway, so check it out directly on the A1 Audio site. So yes, I've done that. I've sort of tuned in the guitar and worked on the actual width of this. I'm going to put one of them closer in, this one 70, and the top one, that's higher output one, slightly out. What I do with panning, stereo panning, you can do this here using the stereo pan, which I did before, but it seems to make the actual level go up, so I prefer to use a plugin. The higher the sound in the spectrum, so if it's a high sounding sound, I kind of push out, and if it's a lower sort of duller sound like a bass or something, I pull towards the middle. Or so this darker piano, I'm putting more towards the middle. So I've done that. I've bounced the bass. That bass I did, which was I played on a MIDI synth. On the VPS, which is a great synth. I'm going to do a tutorial on that because it's a great synth. And I also got the Nexus 3, so I'll be doing a tutorial on that as well because that's really good. That's been a big update from Nexus 2. So anyway, so got my drums sorted out, all my levels sorted out, and liking that. So now let's have a look at the mastering chain I've done here. So as if you've seen in my mastering tutorial, I use a vintage console just to give it a little bit of boost and a little bit of color. It kind of just gives it that analog feel. Just a little bit of brightness on it. I've got an output of about -2, -3. You can see here, -2.5 dB for the output for now. I've got an analyzer coming up here, which will show me what's going on. And when I compare it, I've got my reference track that I use for mastering, which is a really good master track. It's not really in the same style, so I wouldn't base it on the sounds. It's just the clarity and the depth of the general sort of mix. So we'll go back and check with that in a minute when I've gone through my plugins here. So this is what I kind of reference to this as well visually. So that I got this on. So then I do some cutting with a graphic EQ, the linear phase EQ. So what I do is I cut about 40 and I boost here the bass, and I cut around a bit of mud out at 230, sorry, and I cut a bit off the top, just to, by stuff that doesn't really matter to anyone, can't hear it. And so I bring that in, and that will boost my bass end, as you can hear. Then I'm going to use the stereo width plugin again here and push it out a bit generally. And I will control the bass, safe bass. This means that anything under 79, 80 is going to go to the sub in a club. You usually do it 60, but I'm going to just do it at 80. It's not too bad. So you're going to hear the difference there. It pushes out the top end slightly, makes it a bit wider, a bit nicer. Then I'm going to use the multi-presser from Logic. Not the best multi-presser in the world, but it'll do for what we want to do. So as you can see, I'm building up very in stages and compressing in stages. I'm compressed here, the bass again, and the top end and mid end, just generally what I felt needed to be boosted a bit. Don't worry about going over too much here. It's all internal calculations on Logic anyway, so it's not really distorting that much. I pay attention usually, but this is a rough kind of master I'm doing here. I just want to go quickly on this. I could bring that down slightly, just so it's not, yeah, so to be safe. But anyway, I wouldn't bother too much about that. If it goes slightly over, then I've got a general compressor to kind of hold, you know, things together. So that's keeping that in control. Now I've got two limiters up here. This is my traditional Logic limiter, which I've done a +6 gain. This is going to really be loud now, by the way. So I'm going to turn things down. So this is going to now sound louder because 6 dB is quite a lot. And then I've got an output level at -2. So I've got that one, and I've got a free limiter number 6, which is another free limiter available on the internet. I would check it out. It's really, really good. This is there's several different GUIs to this. You can download 5 or 6 different. It's got a compressor, a peak limiter, a high floor limiter, clipper, and protection. It's quite complicated. So what I've done is I set up a kind of basic compression and a peak limiter and a clipper, and the protection I've turned on. Yeah. So we'll check this out. Compare them both, but I just wanted to try something different and show you know that there's different ways of doing things. But let's start with this one. So I've got quite a lot of reduction going on here. It doesn't distort for now. So this one compared to this one, so what I've done here is I've got to replace the compressor. So let me just open this up because I want to put this on. Well, I don't have to have that open actually. So here, okay, now let's compare. That's quite nice. And then I actually like this better. This is kind of fatter. So just a quick check on the Lucas track here.
Treat me right. Treat me right, dear. You leave your home for days and days.
Okay, this is actually quite compressed to that. So I'm just going to bring down the gain on this a little bit, see if I can make this a little bit closer to that level. Okay, let's leave it at that. That's quite cool. As you can hear, the professional master track is nice. It's got a fatness to it that I haven't really got on this track. It's not the same track, but that's why I say, you know, professional master tracks in a good mastering studio does make a difference. But anyway, you know, I'm not using the highest quality of plugins here either. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It's the longest I've ever done. As I said before, a happy new year to everyone. It's 2020. I never thought we'd get there. So like, subscribe. Let's keep this moving forward. Put some comments down, and I'll be back real soon. Ciao.